To be at your book club. Thank you so much for having me. I hope the answers to my questions to you are great, and I just wanted to give you a little backstory on this video. So, Cruel Beautiful World. I've actually been wanting to write this particular novel since I was 17, and in high school I sat behind this girl in study hall, and the one thing that always got me was she was engaged to be married when she was 18 to this guy who was in his 30s, and I thought that was a little bizarre. And she said the only thing about him that she wasn't sure about was he was a little controlling. I thought that was strange. So I graduated high school, and then a year later I heard from a friend that this girl had decided to break off her engagement and to go back to college. And her boyfriend had gone into the kitchen, gotten a knife, and he stabbed her 47 times and vanished. I was just stunned. I was so appalled. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to write about her, to immortalize her, but I couldn't understand her, why she would stay with somebody who would control her, or who was capable of such violence. So fast forward 10 years. There I was engaged to be married, and 2 weeks before my wedding, my fiance died very suddenly of a major heart attack, even though he was young and healthy, in my arms. So I was cataclysmic with grief. I was crying every day in my apartment. The police even came to make sure I was okay. And after 4 months, I got it in my head that the right thing to do would be to get in another relationship. My friends told me I was crazy. My grief counselor said, Caroline, if you do that, I can't see you as a client anymore. But I did it anyway. So back then there wasn't Match.com, but there were ads in the back of New York Magazine, and I answered one. And I met this guy, and he seemed nice, and he wanted to be with me all the time, and we were busy all the time, so I wasn't grieving. And then 6 months into the relationship, things began to get weird. I was 98 pounds then because I was so agitated. And we were at dinner, and I reached for the bread, and he very quietly took my hand, and he always spoke in a quiet voice, and he said, honey, you would look so much prettier if you were just a little thinner. So my hand froze. He began to monitor what I ate. He didn't want me to see my friends. He didn't want me to see his friends. And the thing is, when somebody's talking to you in this very slow, easy, gentle, loving voice, you start to believe it. And I began to think, well, maybe I am too heavy, or maybe my friends are crazy. I wasn't able to leave for 4 years. And the only reason I left is because he went into my computer and he rewrote one of my chapters of my novel, filling it with jokes. I turned around to him and said, how could you do this? This is my work. And he very gently said, Caroline, there is no you. There is no me. There's only us, and that's the way it's going to be forever. And then I was able to leave, and then I was able to understand my friend. When writing Cruel Beautiful World, I also sort of wanted to make it a love letter to my mom, who was jilted at 19 to a man she really loved, married my dad on the rebound, a man she didn't love at all, who was sulky and brutish and terrible. And when my father died in his 50s, my mother was still young and beautiful and fabulous, but she didn't want to date. She hated men. When she lived on her own, she taught. When she turned 90, she couldn't be in the house by herself, so we had to get her an apartment at Independent Living, and she hated it at first. But then after 2 months, she called me up, and she said, I'm in love for the first time. And I thought that was just so amazing. And she and this guy Walter were like teenagers. They held hands, they stayed in each other's apartments. They just had this wonderful, warm, perfect love affair for 4 years. And lucky and unlucky, after the 4 years, my mother began to get dementia. My mom's still alive. She's going to be 100 in 2 weeks. She started to get dementia, so she had to be moved to assisted living. Walter promised to visit her every day, and my mom started to get worse and worse. And Walter had a fall, and he died. My sister and I decided not to ever tell her. So my mom, at 99, still thinks Walter's around, and she's very happy. And that's the power of love. Thank you all so much. And if you have any other questions, just email me, carolinelevitt@gmail.com. Bye.